It is another episode of the podcast with me and Gal. Today is a very special one. I mean, they're all kind of special, but I am very excited for this one because this is one of the things that I love that's used to be a little more niche. It's coming a bit round to the main circle. But we're going to deep dive today into Death Note, the musical. And I'll explain a little bit about it and all that kind of jazz in a second. Um, Gal, say hello to the people, I guess. And are you
Hello.
ready?
I am very ready. You've been talking about this for a while. I think I know one song from this, and that's a hard maybe.
Yeah,
I know nothing about the anime, and I know
which is
nothing.
fun.
So this is just last week, but reversed.
It is.
So I'm very excited to judge what you like, and
It,
I'm excited.
I'm excited too because we learned. So Gal had the unfortunate privilege of going first with the deep dives, and she picked Wicked the musical. And we quickly learned that it's not just, hey, let me tell you about this musical. It's, oh, I have to explain to you the fucking source
Everything.
material.
I need context. I need browser history searches. I need the Wikipedia page. I need it all because assume I know nothing and you'll be more correct than you want to be.
Exactly. Because I didn't know what the fucking Wizard of Oz was.
Which you
So
should, by the way.
I know this is slightly different because you do not need, like, there's no expectation that a normal human should know anything about Death Note, but there is expectation that I should have known Wizard of Oz. um,
Yes.
so yes, so I'm gonna go through some of the basic stuff. And obviously, I think I put it in a further slide, but obviously, spoilers, not just for the musical, for the manga and for the anime as well. So, and for all of the different versions of the musical, because there's English, Japanese, Korean, etc. So, spoilers for everything, Death Note. Um, but okay, we'll get started. I'm gonna take a guess because I want to do this. We kind of did it last time, and I'm gonna really hammer it home now. I don't know that you will. I don't think you'll dislike the musical. Um, but I don't think it'll be in the type of genre that is necessarily your thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not. It is a rock and roll musical theater combo.
Okay.
So it's not straight musical theater. Um, and most of it is like very light rock. I'm not talking the type of music I listen to, like very general dad rock energy. Um, which is fun because there's not a lot of that in musical theater. Um, and I will take a bet right now. I don't know which one it's gonna be. I know one of these motherfucking songs in this musical that I hate with every fiber of my being is gonna be
I'm
one of the
gonna
ones you like.
love.
Yep.
Yep. I that happened last time, so yep, it's
Because I
gonna
liked the
happen.
wizard.
Nope, you didn't after, so
That's true.
it
That's
was
true, actually.
we were mutually
This is fair.
disappointed in
This is
the
fair.
Green Man.
All right, we'll get started because this is going to be a long one because I'm making Gal watch visuals. So, for folks that are going to join us, this is not just soundtrack, there are visuals. You listening to the free episode will not see or hear either. So, feel free to listen on your own or watch on your own. There is definitely not two slime tutorials of both casts because it was a double cast original Japanese version of this musical. That definitely doesn't exist. Don't go looking for it.
Mm.
Um, okay, let's get started. Enough stalling, Rachel. So, Death Note is a originally a manga, which is comic book in Japan, um, and then was
Mhm.
made into an anime, which is a cartoon but made for adults in Japan. Um, so the reason why I have a notebook theme here is because the Death Note stands literally for Death Notebook. Like, that's what it is. And we'll go through the basic plot in a second. Let me go ahead and switch on over to my presentation. Here we go. Death Note, the musical. So, what is Death Note? Before I tell you the plot, because the plot's fucking wild, because this is anime, I'm gonna tell you the characters we care about. So,
Okay.
Light Yagami. You might recognize the name Light. My cat is named after this main character. um,
Is it the one currently trying to eat your cereal?
no, Oswald was the one trying to eat my cereal. Light is my little rat bastard. And as you will note while we go through this musical, Light Yagami is also a rat bastard. So this is the type of story, kind of similar to Wicked, where we are following our main character is the villain. Now, in Wicked and shows like that, they were only, it's like this is supposed to be the villain, but we're telling it as a hero story. That's not how this works here. Light, in most, if not everyone's perspective, is the villain. But he is our main character. He's the one we follow. He's brilliant. He's egotistical as fuck, and will eventually refer to himself as the god of the new world.
Okay.
He's egotistical. All of this technically takes place in high school. They're like 17, 18. Because that's how most Japanese anime and stuff works. I think they are entering university in the anime, but Eastern schooling is not, and even like some Western, like England and stuff, don't use the same terms that we use. So I'm not entirely sure if it's like, oh, 17, 18-year-old high school is its own school, or if they're actually entering like our version of college. But they're somewhere around there. For the purposes of everything I'm about to say in this show, one, I was like 12 or 13 when I found this show, and when I liked this show, and younger when it came out. Two, we're gonna assume every character in here is 18 years old or older.
Yes. Okay.
Just because I am no longer a teenager, but these were the original feelings that I had, and goddamn, I'll stick with them. Okay.
Okay.
So, Light Yagami, main character. He looks exactly like you think a white boy would look, even though they're Japanese. Just like suit and tie, like uniform, rich boy. In the traditional anime, which I won't refer to the manga too much because I watch the anime, he is not like he's not the best boy in the eyes of everybody, as in the smartest. Everybody does think he's really brilliant and he's like top of his class, but to them, best boy was like didn't get in trouble, followed all the rules, was valedictorian. It doesn't necessarily mean kind of our ideals of like the sports guy and the it doesn't mean that. It literally means like best student, and morally fantastic. So the second main character is L. This guy is a famous, anonymous, nobody knows his face, nobody knows his real name, kind of detective consultant. He's fairly awkward. He's very awkward, if I could say words. Most of the fandom will call him autistic. He straight up to the point where when he does show up, the musical literally copied his physical movements, his physicality down to the T of the anime, because that's how like neurodivergent, socially awkward he is. You'll see it in some of the songs. He eats candy out of a bowl with 2 fingers and like pinches the top of he pinches the top of a fork instead of using a fork normally to like get pieces of cake and then swirls it around. He never stands up straight, not once. It's not a thing he does. He always has his hands in very loose jean pockets and he's slightly bent over, and when he sits down, he won't sit on his butt. He only like squats on his tippy toes. You'll see it immediately.
So very autistic.
Yes. But what's really cool is that for all intents and purposes, he is the hero. So he is our rival to Light, who is the villain, and the other main character. As you can see underneath it, they're hella gay for each other.
As they should be.
As they should be. For anyone who doesn't know, and for Gal who doesn't know, Death Note, if you are honest and true and open to yourself, is just mind games yaoi. That's all it is. That's all it is. It is Light and L trying to one-up each other and be smarter than each other, but they're gay. And that's it. And everybody else is a side character. Anyways, so right underneath that, Misa Amane. She is a J-pop star, and she's also a devoted, abused lover. We'll get there.
Okay.
Misa in the anime is notoriously hated. Hate this motherfucker. Everybody hates her. She sucks dick. She is brilliant in the musical. She's like, they somehow, some way, shape, or form, and if you're a Death Note fan, I promise you this is true, watch this musical. They rewrote her character to actually be a good character. So I will explain the differences as we go, and the reason why I say that they did that in the musical is because I hate all of this bitch's songs. So when we get to her music, you're gonna constantly hear me go, fuck this shit, 2 seconds and then we skip it. I hate it. This song sucks balls. But I need you to know the context of this is actually the good version of Misa.
Okay.
So yes, she is a pop star. It's actually very important that she is one.
All right.
She will eventually be the devoted but abused lover by our protagonist, Light Yagami, because of course, Light Yagami is our villain, so of course he abuses her. The next two, in this universe, there's something called Shinigami. Shinigami is the Japanese word for a death god.
Okay.
In this universe, and this will tell you what a death note is, death gods have a death note or a notebook where they watch the people on Earth and they can see the person's name and the person's lifespan above their heads. And so they write the name of the person in their death note when their lifespan is up and it is time for them to die. And in exchange of them writing the names and the person dying, all of the life that was like on that person gets given to them, and they have to continue living in what is essentially a no man's land. Like nothing happens, there's nobody here, they do nothing, they just have to live and kill people. There's a few things with this that are particular. We'll get into it as it goes, but just to know right off the bat, they don't just get to kill people. They're not allowed to just be like, I don't like you, dead. They are specifically writing names when a lifespan is up. So it's more like they are like the clerical positions in a job where it's like, okay, you have to do the paperwork.
Okay.
They're not just killers. So Rem and Ryuk are our two Shinigamis, or death gods. Rem is very curious about humans. She watches them from above. She doesn't understand why they feel the way they feel. And she will eventually be a devoted, abused gay lover. But I'm not going to get there yet because that one's fun.
Yay.
And Ryuk is really, really bored because, again, they're paperwork doers. They do literally nothing but sit all day and write names in a book. And he's bored out of his mind. And he really likes apples. That's not important. It's just become a part of him.
You got like someone just likes apples.
Someone just likes apples, and this is how he'll be. And very lastly, the only other character we care about is Light's dad. For the life of me, during this entire presentation, I did not look up his name, and I could not remember his name.
Do you want me to look at here?
No,
I'll know a piece of factoid you won't know.
I think I know it because I like his. The reason why I have him on here, I think it's Soichiro, or yeah, I think it's Soichiro. and I might be pronouncing that wrong. But the reason why he's on here is because in the anime and arguably in the manga, he's important, but we don't give a shit about him. Fuck this man. There's just the problem is when you are not involved directly in the killing or the dying, you kind of become lackluster. I bring him up in the musical because he serves the same purpose, but actually gets songs. And in my opinion, his songs are good. And if you listened to our Wicked one, I made a comment about the wizard where I was like, I really love these old man, like ugly singing voices that we don't use anymore. And that's Light's dad. So I think I'm the only one on the planet who likes his numbers, but it's because of his voice.
Okay.
But those are our main characters. Okay, are you ready to continue?
Of course.
All right, here we go. So, the basic plot. Ryuk, the death god we were talking about earlier, drops his death note to Earth because he is bored as shit. And he's like, let's see what these fucking humans do with it. Light happens to pick it up while he's like, I think in the musical he's in the middle of Tokyo, in Shibuya or something. But in the anime, he picks it up on campus. Picks it up and goes, haha, a death note. What is it? When you open the front of the book, on the cover, the inside cover, it has all of the rules written. Basically what the rules say is you write down the real, like, official name of a person and have their image in your head. And when you write down their name while thinking of who they are in the book, after 60 seconds, they will die of a heart attack. That's really the only rule you need to know. That it says a few more things, but I think they make it up in the anime, so it's fine. That's the main one. And Light reads that and goes, haha, this must be some like middle schooler hit book, like, which has happened before, but I won't go into that. But he's like, this is dumb shit. What is this funny thing? And we'll get into why he chooses to use it when we get there in the musical. But essentially, he goes, haha, this is a joke. I'm going to use it. I bet it won't work. Well, of course, it works. So he vows that, okay, well, if it works, then I'm going to take on the sin of being the person who kills all the bad guys in the world. And that might send me to hell, but at least all the bad guys will be dead. But of course, he's our villain. So eventually he gets a god complex, and this doesn't work. His dad, who is Soichiro, the detective, tries to, as these criminals start dying, his dad is like, okay, we have a new case. We can't figure out why these criminals are dying. I'm going to ask L, the private rival guy, anonymous guy, and L's got a full win streak. He's never been beaten. He's always solved any case he's chosen to work on. So if he chooses to work with us, should work. So he's like, L, will you work with us? And L is like, fuck yeah, I will. And so L joins in to try and catch the killer, which will be referred to as Kira, which just means killer in Japanese. And then, of course, gay mind games ensue. Because now that L is involved, L and Light are gonna play mind games until one of them gets caught or dead. And we'll go into the gay mind games that happen. Now, I already explained the death note on the previous page, but all of it is essentially there. There are some extra rules, but
Can you write your own name in the death note and just...
Yes, you can.
Huzzah. Okay.
Yes. So you can... So... Yes, and please, I'm going to put this out here, please ask any questions at any point.
Okay.
Feel free to interrupt me for commentary or questions, because you know me, otherwise I'll just chat, and I don't want to just be chatting.
No, that's fine.
So, Yes, you have the reason why I've only told you the one specific rule, which is know someone's face and write their name, and then they die in 60 seconds of a heart attack, is because things that you're thinking of, like, well, can I write my own name?
Mhm.
Yeah. Then maybe you can.
Maybe. I'm just spoiling
Maybe.
plot here, ain't I?
That's what I listen. I like these questions because there's also a huge debate in the community over what rules we actually think are real. It won't happen in
Mm.
the musical, but spoilers for the anime. There's a very specific cutoff point in the anime that people of the fandom pretend is the real ending because everything after it, season wise and show wise, sucks balls. Um, so
Mm.
in that second half, there's a lot of extra rules. Um, and there's debate over whether or not we agree with those rules. So
Fair enough.
we will continue. Death Note the musical, Act 1. Couple quick notes. It follows the same plot as the anime, except it has a different ending. So, for all my people who know what I just said earlier, the cutoff point that we agree as a fandom is the correct cutoff point, it's very similar to that ending, but it's slightly different, just so folks know. In my opinion, it's better. But okay, so
I just would love to imagine that you're like, as a fandom, we agree this, and this is just your personal headcanon.
honestly, million percent, I guarantee they're headcanons.
And then we're gonna get that one super fan who listens to this and just blows up and goes, and I'm gonna get a whole new lecture about what the real thing is. And I'm gonna have to listen to the songs again with a whole new context.
Oh my god, it's so true. It's so accurate. It's so true. Okay, so this musical, the original version of this musical was written in English first. However,
Okay.
Death Note is originally a Japanese manga and a Japanese anime. Um,
Okay.
so this interpretation was English first, but the original source material is Japanese. The reason why I
Okay.
say that is because the concept album is that we're going to listen to for most of the songs is in English, made back in like 2015, 2014. I think it's 2014. But they never staged an English production because it didn't get picked up here. So we do not have the English script. The performance that we'll watch with dialogue and extra songs is in Japanese because when it didn't work here, the guy who made it, who's actually a good musical theater dude, I think it's like Frank Wildhorn or something. He's well known. He was like, okay, well, it didn't work here. If nobody in the Western audience wants it, then fuck it. I'm just gonna give it to Japan and tell them to do whatever they want.
So this is like Ghost Stories, but backwards.
Yes, this is Ghost Stories but backwards. Which makes it fantastic because he basically gave it to Japan, and Japan was like, well, we have a history of turning animes into really bad, like one shot, one act only plays and musicals. Like there's a Naruto one, we don't talk about it. There's Ouran High School Host Club, we don't they're like silly comedy things. And they were like, well, you wrote a whole ass 2.5 hour musical. Sure, we'll fucking do it. Who cares? Well, they did it with the script. They translated it all to Japanese, both the songs and the whatever the original script looks like, and it was a huge success. So now up until today, it's gone several runs on like the official what the Broadway version of in Japan is. It's gone into Korea and run on Korea's national stages.
Nice.
And only just recently, the concept album, not the whole show, was sung with official like license and rights. Lord help me. On the West End, in like concert form. I say all of this because there are some things that I'm gonna go, this sucks balls in English, and he shouldn't have done this when he wrote it, but the Japanese fixes it. So, is what it is. Anyways,
Okay.
we're gonna listen, like I said, official concept album, watch Japanese stage production. Huge, 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 huge content warning for murder, suicide, and torture.
Lovely.
Especially because we're gonna be watching the visuals. There is like staged out blocking representations of torture, suicide, and murder in this.
Okay.
I probably should have checked ahead of time with you, Gal, but I'm assuming you're
I'm
okay.
game.
Okay.
I'm fine. There's not a lot that bothers me, like
Okay.
trigger warning wise.
Yeah. And
So
this is not
I'm fine.
gory. It's
No.
staged versions. It's not gory. But it's very blatant. So just
That's
like
fine.
and guns and shots and stuff. Okay. So spoilers for all the jazz. And also the best thing that all my musical theater nerds, if you're here listening, you're like, okay, I'll take a stab at this. Somehow, some fucking way, this man got Jeremy Jordan to voice Light in the concept album.
Nice.
So basically, every song is sung by our god, Jeremy Jordan, as the main character.
As it should be.
As it should be. All right, here we go. This will be fun. All right, Act 1. There's technically an overture. I don't give a shit. We're going to start with the most banger opening musical number ever. This is probably the one you've heard. This is Where Is the Justice? I'm going to switch over to the video and then we'll talk about what happens in it. So,
Okay.
let me switch to the video.
Ooh.
Yes!
Okay. I really liked that last line with the ensemble doing that higher harmony.
Yes.
Delicious.
Right?
That was really well done. I liked the lyrics a lot as well. It kind of gives me Heather vibes.
Yes.
Which isn't a bad thing, but just like, like opening number wise and stuff. I liked it a lot. I do like the I liked the professor's voice a lot as well. But the ensemble is probably one of I really like. This is definitely like I feel like a bunch of these songs are going to be like shower songs. Like you can just belt this shit in the shower.
Especially with Jeremy hitting that part that we both commented on in the middle when it just goes boom and everything's silent and he's just like we owe that. I'm like, god damn.
It does scratch an itch. Like it does. I do. So far I'm liking it. I like the vibes.
Hell yeah.
I really liked that last. That was probably my favorite part of the song was the end. Yes. And I did like how it progressively went up. Keys or octaves or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
See, like when I listen to a song for the first time, I usually like try and sing along. That's just like
bro.
once I guess like when I guess patterns, it's pretty easy to sing along because all songs are just patterns.
That's fair.
So I am a fan so far.
Yay! This opening number is one of my favorites. It's very high at the top and maybe is my favorite except for the gay song. We'll get there. There's a couple gay songs, but still. It's first of all, you can't beat Jeremy Jordan. But beyond him, the ensemble is really good. We unfortunately are going to skip a lot of the ensemble because almost all of it is Japanese.
Okay, that's fine.
Which is unfortunate. They've got some really cool things, but this musical doesn't necessarily utilize them in a brilliant way the way a lot of other ones do, like Wicked and stuff. Because the ensemble in this musical works incredibly well, but most of the time the only purpose they serve is like Greek chorus style, where when they come out, it's very Jekyll and Hyde, and it's very, this is the plot, and you just saw this happen, and this is the plot, and and I'm like, okay.
I love Jekyll
Um,
and Hyde. We have to do a Jekyll and
we
Hyde
love
one. We're
Jekyll and
just
Hyde.
listening
Oh,
to the soundtrack and just
yes,
going, I like it. That's
yes.
literally it.
We will. We will. But yes, I love this song because it's a great way to show you immediately that this is rock and roll, or at least light
Mhm.
rock and roll, versus traditional musical theater. Um, and yet somehow it pairs really well with musical theater style singing,
Mhm.
which is interesting because it I love beats and I love a drum, so it gives you this really upbeat, strong drum, but you get to belt like you're in a musical,
Mhm.
which is nice. And then this number is funny in terms of the actual lore, which is one of the things I noted here. Incredible song. Technically, in the anime, because Light is like the perfect, smart, amazing student, there's no
Mhm.
way in motherfucking hell he would argue with a teacher about anything. Um,
Mhm.
However, this is a 2.5 hour musical. I think this is a brilliant way to introduce people who don't know what this is to the basic concept of like Light thinking, hey, there are good people and there are bad people and there's no in between. And that is what leads him to do everything he does. Um,
Mhm.
so I think, and it's incredible and it's great. Like you said, the ensemble is so good in the back. Oh my god. And the teacher, almost all of the older, so Eastern countries tend to use that older, I keep calling it ugly. It's not what I mean. But the older, more like authentic, kind of weird style of old man and old woman voice.
Yeah.
We in the West have really, the current era that we're in at least, pushes towards like pretty.
Yeah.
And so they don't necessarily want you to sound old and authentic, they want you to sound pretty. So all of the older male characters, that teacher, the dad, etc., and actually we'll listen to it at some point because I my misogyny is going to come out because I don't like the English singers in this musical for the women. Um, but the
That's fine.
Japanese women, because Ryuk and Rem are old actors, um, she is an older female actress, and in the Japanese version, you can hear that like she's got a great voice, but it's not traditional pretty, and it's really cool.
Mhm.
Um, yes, that is a banger opening number. Very very short explanation is the teacher is like talking about philosophy and like society, and Light goes, um, people get away with shit, and like when things happen,
Yes.
like, and a CEO should be put to justice, he gets off scot free.
It reminds me lyrically, it reminds me of Just a Man from Epic the Musical.
Oh my god, you're right.
I was
Holy
trying to
shit.
think, like,
Wait, that must be
um,
why I like that. That's one of the songs from Epic I actually really like.
yeah,
Oh
like
no.
when the sun come to meet you.
Yes!
And
Oh my god! I'm
comes
opening up
a
my Diet
place.
Pepsi to this revelation.
Okay, I won't interrupt it this time.
No, it's too late. I already opened it.
Okay, never mind. I don't care. Uh, but like lyrically, it gave the same um. It also technically lyrically kind of gave me Seasons of Love. Um,
which
fuck, where's it from? Like 10, 5. Hold on. Let me.
what are the
Seasons.
words? Sing it for me now. I'm gonna make you karaoke.
How dare you? I have to
Mm-mm.
remember the words. Oh, like
Mm.
525,600
Oh, we've
minutes.
pivoted. I hate Rent.
Yeah, it is Rent, but like the lyrically in like oh, the bridge um
Oh. Okay.
like um
I think I understand what you're
what
trying to say.
like in truth that he learned or times that
Yeah.
he cried,
Yeah.
that like just lyrically. I also love Rent, so I have a fan of Seasons of Love. So.
Oh god, that'll be a fun one if we ever do it. That'll be the battle day. That'll be the day when we come to fight.
Well, the thing is, I don't know everything about Rent.
Mm,
Only reason why I know Seasons of Love is because I had to sing it before.
yeah, they do
That's
that.
about it.
We
I'm
won't do
very
that one then,
uncontrolled.
because I would beat a
Well,
man.
I don't want to fight. I'd
Yeah,
rather just
it's
go.
good.
I'd rather watch Jekyll and
Jekyll
Hyde.
Hyde, yes, yes. Okay, so we will move on to song 2. This is another one of my favorites. This
I
song
know
is
this
gonna
one.
this is the one you've heard. Okay.
I have heard this one. I've heard a couple covers of it.
Yes. So this is They're Only Human. Did we like the system of talking about it after we play the song, or do you want me to talk about what it is before we play it?
We can do after.
Okay.
I like music.
Yeah, I
I
like
don't
the
care.
music. All right, so for folks following along, 7:14 in the video that doesn't exist. All right, here we go. So this is
Oh,
Rem.
she's pretty.
She's gorgeous. Lesbianism. Um,
Wood.
literally.
Smash.
The problem is you're about to see Ryuk, and my answer is still wood. So just wait.
That's
Ready?
valid.
Still wood.
That checks out. Good. I like that harmony a lot.
Yeah. I love that he goes up and she goes down.
Yeah.
Isn't it a waste? I love her boots.
Oh, yes.
God, the costume design.
He looks like someone. I'm trying to remember who.
I know. Every time I see him, I'm like, who does he remind me of?
Sorry. I figured out who he looked like.
Oh no, is that what you sent me? Oh no. Oh my god. Oh my god,
Sorry.
he does.
I didn't realize that the audio.
No. Tell the podcast while I look up the pictures of what they originally look like in the anime because you need to see it.
For those of you who can't see, I sent Rachel a picture of Daniel Stern from Home Alone. For those of you who don't know who that is, he is the tall burglar with the scraggly ass hair and beard, like scruffy beard.
Oh boy.
It gives me him vibes. Oh.
Okay, we're gonna talk about this song in a second. I need to show you because something I really love is the costume design in this musical. What Ryuk and Rem actually look like. And why I think it's so well done is because they don't do what I'm about to show you. This is Ryuk.
I know this person.
Yeah.
I've seen him before.
Uh-huh. So oftentimes you get this very big, like they copy the anime version where he's this gigantic, like scary, skinned, stapled together, like feathers about him, 20 feet tall. And the Japanese musical does this really beautiful thing where they don't fucking do that.
Yeah.
They don't make him look like a monster. They just do like a goth interpretation. And they let the actor be the monster.
Yeah.
Rem is very similar. She's not quite as creepy, but she is this mummy-looking, like bones style of creature.
Yeah.
And the musical does a very good job of like you can see there's been other live actions. But the musical does a very good job of like we're gonna take this energy and give her like what I like is they don't make her feminine. There's the musical version right there. They still keep like her claws and the blue tint, the bluish purple tint they add places. And they give her like very tall boots, so she's as close to the same like height as Ryuk because they're supposed to be the same height. But there's debate about whether or not she's technically female. This is one thing I know everybody agrees on. The fandom agrees she's a woman. Simply because in the anime, it's a female voice actor. In the musical, they write her as a female. And is one of the characters that, although uses all pronouns in Japanese does use female pronouns, whereas somebody like Light
Okay.
and Ryuk never use them.
Okay.
So yeah, but yeah.
So a fun fact about the Their Only Human song. The first time I
Yes.
ever heard it came up on my For You page for YouTube, and it was actually
no.
no, it was an animatic done, and they did the angel and the devil from The Good Omens,
Oh,
and it
interesting.
was really fucking well done, and I didn't know. And
Yeah.
then there's one of my favorite artists, or like she sings covers of songs.
Yeah.
Her name's Anna Patsu.
I was gonna say, is it Anna Patsu?
It is Anna Patsu, and I like her a lot. But she did a cover of this,
Yes.
and it's so good, and I love it a lot.
Mhm.
So yeah, no, I do like this song. I used to sing this with my brother
Hell yeah.
a lot, and I'd sing the higher part because I
Yeah.
can,
Yep.
and but no. So I listen to this song. It's usually on my playlist. So I
Yes.
know one thing from this
Woo!
musical. I'm not
So
completely oblivious
yes.
like some people.
Hey, I knew the TikTok song.
Yeah.
I knew the loathing. Okay.
Okay. Sure.
So, all right. So, one big clarification. I said earlier that I hate the female singers in the English. I don't hate the female singers. I do not think they are correctly casted for the two female roles in this musical.
That's
said,
objectively worse.
yeah, so in my opinion, that's not great. But
Yeah,
like,
no.
and most people disagree with me, which is totally fine. Because again, they're just voices, right? And they were probably picked for like pitch and stuff. I think she's excellent as long as she's not singing with the other girl. Because when you put them together, it's very obvious that like, no, they shouldn't be casted like this. And I also think there's another song she has that just, I don't think the direction on the songs were good, and they were either told to sing a way they shouldn't have sung, and we'll get to those points. But for this song is brilliant.
Okay, give me 1 second. Sorry, hold on.
Take your time.
I'll be right back.
So, people, it is me. And I'm going to talk to you in case Rachel doesn't edit this out of the podcast because I'm a dumby wumby. In fact, I'm going to check the OBS time to see what time we're at. We're at 50 minutes. So maybe I'll just cut it here. And I will tell you while Gal is gone that song 2, They're Only Human, is gorgeous. We love it. She sounds incredible and sings so well compared to how Ryuk sounds. And Ryuk is sort of that sound of like the grimy and weird texture voice. Not quite Beetlejuice, but close. And they sound really good together. And I love it. Oh my God, you're back.
I am back. Sorry, I had a delivery.
That's okay. I'll cut it after we're done with this one anyways, because that'll be our hour. Although I guess I should wait because we're going to cut out the actual song, so I'll wait.
Okay.
But yeah,
at like an hour and a half, cut it.
yeah, that's a good idea. They sound excellent together because he's doing that weird voice texture that's fake, not like old Japanese style man singing. But the fake version kind of Beetlejuicy, and it pairs so well to her beautiful like musical theater voice in this song. And I love the way they use the stage, and they're very dramatic. I think it's cool because they're both dramatic in their own way. Like Ryuk is super over the top, really big gestures. You can hear it in his voice when he does that one line. I forget what it is, but
I like the they will live because
yes,
that's
what it is.
This is another man's life. Yeah, and he gets like uber upset about it.
He does. He's like gah, 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 and like does all that fucking grumbly shit, and he's like over dramatic and cool. And she's still over dramatic, but it's in a musical theater way. Where like when she starts singing more, she does like the really long belty things, and it's so cool.
I like that, like when he gets upset she's like semi-comforting him,
Yes.
and then it changes at the end,
Yes.
or like then it becomes she gets kind of like riled up and he's encouraging her. I think that's interesting.
And I'm actually glad that you point that out. Something that I think this musical does that the other versions do not do, and I really, really like that this musical does, is while it doesn't necessarily flesh out Ryuk and Rem's relationship, it gives it more depth. Noting the thing that you said, where it's like, oh, they're sort of like pushing and pulling a bit. And
Mm-hmm.
one is getting riled and the other's comforting. And then when the other gets riled, he sort of riles her up more. And there's a moment that is specifically Japanese only that I'm forcing us to watch because it does exactly that in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Where there's a beautiful depth to them actually giving a shit about each other.
Mm-hmm.
And in the anime, they don't do that. They are both very like passive, apathetic. Yeah, I know who that dude is. I talk to him all the time, but I don't care. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and that I get why, but it irks me. I like them being connected here. I think it's really nice.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, the basic plot is and there's a little cut if you followed along the video with us, because there's more apparently in the Japanese song. I don't know why it's not in the concept album. Must be something they added. But basic plot was they're like, Ryuk is like, I'm bored. Rem is like, boy, these humans sure are weird. They sing about it. And then Ryuk drops his death note to Earth for chaos.
Mm-hmm. It,
And yeah.
I'm gonna make a lot of references, but they also remind me of. Do you know The Book of Life, the movie?
Yes.
They remind me of the two, like the lady and the inky dude. I'm so bad with names.
Oh.
Like, uh,
I think I
shit.
know who you mean. I don't
Hold
know.
on.
I don't remember it very well.
It's
But
like the
please use
two
references.
main gods of the world.
I can picture her, which is interesting. I don't know the
Hold
dude,
on.
but I think I
The dude
recognize.
is like, he was like the underworld guy.
Oh, you're
Goddamn,
gonna Discord it
I'm
to me.
so bad with names. I'm
I'm
so.
waiting.
La Muerte is the lady, and Zibalba is the dude.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I'll give
You're not.
you.
Yeah,
I'll
I was
give
gonna
you
say
a.
Discord me a picture.
They definitely fuck, but you know, like.
Well, yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, Ryuk and Rem do not, cause she a
There
lesbian.
you go.
But oh yeah, I do not remember him,
Them
but I
too.
definitely remember her.
But it kind of gives me that vibes where
Yeah.
they're meddling in humans' lives,
Huh.
and then when they shouldn't be, and then they also kind of have this weird they make bets with each other. That's basically their
Hell
whole thing.
yeah.
And he cheats a lot, so
Nice. Excellent.
um
Huh. I like that. No, please bring in all the references. We love it. Yeah. And then we talked about the weird vocals on Ryuk that we love. We talked about
mhm.
the women upcoming and how I dislike songs. Okay. Song 3, Hurricane. There are little bits and pieces in between these that are in Japanese. We're not listening to them. Song 3, Hurricane. This is the I Want song.
Okay.
We're gonna watch the video version because there's a Japanese introduction, and then it'll switch over to the English song. I'm gonna give a
Yeah.
forewarning: the people listening to this, you won't. I guess it won't matter if you're just listening. But in case you're following along by yourself, when I say Japanese intro, I don't mean ha ha he hoo a few lines. I mean there's this section is gonna be like 5 minutes because it's gonna give you a whole ass context in Japanese. So just fair warning, this one is long as fuck.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna make sure I have my Diet Pepsis. I'm gonna make sure I have my cereal so that we can enjoy this. I didn't look at the time code. What's that time code? 10:01. Okay. But the reason why we're watching the context, even though I could tell you the context, is because I want you to see what the stage looks like. And also, if you remember earlier, we like the ensemble.
We do like the ensemble.
We love ensemble. And so this section will give It'll tell you the staging, which is really cool. It'll show you the lighting, which is really cool. Just the whole stage production in this original is one of my favorites. But the ensemble is used in here as well, and they're freaky as fuck, and I love them. All right, ready? I'm gonna turn it up. Here we go. Okay, pause. They're probably right with 40, and I'm probably wrong with 60, and I'm remembering it wrong. Not the most important for the musical. What is important is what he just said was if you do not write the cause of death, they will die by a heart attack. So the show, or the musical in this case, is giving us little hints as to like, hey, there are
other ways to die.
Yeah, and there are what do you call it when you skirt the rules? There are
loopholes.
Loopholes. Yes. Okay, we'll keep going. I'm gonna pause again while I eat the Cinnamon Toast Crunch. So, this part seemed
superior cereal.
Literally, this part is important for two reasons. One, it'll establish something that has technically not been said out loud. It's not just the name; it is the face. Because if someone has the exact same name as someone you're writing in the book, you as the writer have to know which one you're killing. So you need to know what they look like. Secondly, and this is not a part of the plot, but something I really I assume was intentional because I give people the benefit of the doubt. They are setting Light so high on the morality pedestal because the concept is, hi, he's going to get a book where he gets to kill everybody, that they need to put him so high on the I'm a good guy, I'm the best guy, I'm an amazing guy, I would never do something wrong, that the first person he chooses to use this power for is not just a guy keeping hostages. It is a guy keeping children. Literally out of fucking kindergarten hostage. So they, like, it's such brilliant writing because, and I think this is from the anime, but I might be wrong here. Regardless, whoever decided it, it's brilliant because they know that you are going to be so against the idea from the get-go that they have to make it, well, wouldn't you save the children? Like,
do you think this didn't really run well in America is because they immediately brought up a school shooter and America just was okay with it?
Like, you know what?
Like, that's not important enough.
Yo, not they I'd be surprised if even half the theater got here after the opening song is, "Hey CEOs, you should fucking die." Like,
yeah, literally.
Oh my god, that's funny as shit. Okay, I'll let it go. Also, Japanese singer, gorgeous, incredible. Here we go.
We're gonna hear Rachel drool the whole time.
Literally, that's all I do is drool. We're skipping this because it's just okay. All it is his dad being like, "There's a bunch of criminals dying." It's not actually part of the song. Yeah, why are all these criminals dying? And why do we as the police care? Oh, come on.
Wait, is his dad the head of...
Yes, of course he is. Of course he is. I don't know if he's the head of the police, but he's definitely like head detective, so. But yes, so
Don't
far...
you love it when your dad gives you your gay lover?
Literally what he doesn't know is he set up his son with his gay lover. Like, oh my god. What's so funny is there's so many jokes. I'm gonna have to keep this section in even though everybody else got silence. I don't give a fuck. But like, what's so funny, there's so many jokes, and I think there's like back in the Bridge series era, there's like a mini Death Note one where it's literally just Soichiro being like, "Oh my god, Light. Oh my god, is this true?" And Light's like, "No, he's clocked me as Kira. What will I do?" And then L is just like, "It is true. We are boyfriends." And then Soichiro's just like, "Oh, that's fine. I don't care." And then just stops investigating. Like, fantastic. But yes, so basically all it is the dad is like, "Hey, we have to investigate why all these criminals are dying inside of a prison." And then, so I will refrain. I'm gonna hold back as much as I can, um, on my commentary on this song. We'll get there.
Do
Okay.
you not like it? Because it's a,
Because it's a ballad and it's I Want. Um,
yeah,
I like it.
that's a lie. That's such a lie. But it's okay to not like songs. That's fine. I don't hate it. I think it's very like Hercules-esque.
Yeah, yeah, and
It
yeah.
kind of I was gonna bring this up later, but do you
Mm.
know the Star Kid like
Yes,
productions?
yes,
It gives me Star Kid vibes.
yes. It's very Starkid energy, and as somebody who's one of my top 3 favorite musicals is Nerdy Prudes Must Die, that
Nice.
can be a compliment. But for this specific song, and I think as it goes on, it'll make more sense. It's not bad. It's not nearly as bad as some of the other English versions. This
Mhm.
song, I think lyrically, it's one of the poorest.
Yeah.
Because he goes so fast. Even in that first fucking like lead up into the chorus, he goes so fast lyrically from "Oh my goodness, did I really just kill a man?" to the next line is fucking "I will kill everyone and protect
Yeah.
people." I'm like, "Whoa, bro, like calm
The
the
complete
fuck down."
180 is not, it was
Yeah,
too fast.
way too fast. And then the chorus itself, so Japan does deal with like a lot of like weather and natural disasters are a huge thing over there. They have a lot of earthquakes and a lot of
Mhm.
tsunamis and stuff. Hurricanes are not super a Japanese thing. Not that they don't happen, but that's not like the Japan weather national emergency. That's very like Western Americanized. Um,
Mhm.
and I get maybe they did that because they were doing it in English and trying to appeal to an audience, but it just feels weird, especially because even if you look at it as like a metaphorical way, like, okay, well, maybe they're using this to be like an analogy to something, which a lot of songs do, right? A lot of writing does. It doesn't work as an analogy because Light describing himself and the justice he's going to bring as a natural disaster doesn't make any sense because at this point in time, he is still supposed to be like, I'm specifically killing bad people and people who are already convicted, but a natural disaster would just kill anyone
Yeah.
and it would just ruin so like it doesn't work. And so lyrically I dislike this song. Musically I sing it, but but lyrically
Yeah.
not my thing. Anyways, I will continue. Yeah, that ending is like Jeremy Jordan's a fantastic singer, and that
Mhm.
ending is really pretty. And for those who are listening to the soundtrack and not the visual, on the back of this production, slowly as he's singing, there are just names, like hundreds upon hundreds of names that he's been writing while he has this on the back. And also, I really like him singing forward and singing to the audience this entire time while his dad is facing away from the audience and looking directly like at the names that he's writing. Great
Mhm.
staging. But as a song, it had
I
just
didn't hate it.
lyrically.
I think
Okay.
it's very boring and very repetitive,
Yes, yes.
and I like it's okay. I would probably skip it
Yep.
unless I was in that particular mood to like belt in the shower.
Yes.
It sounds like a decent shower song because you don't need to think about the words,
Mhm.
but it's okay. Not my
Yeah,
favorite.
I agree. You hit the nail on the head, and I'm actually really glad that you said that and you were talking about it because it just encompasses. I'm a big lyric person. I love. There's some songs like this one, exactly like you said, where like if I don't want to think about it and I just want to match Jeremy Jordan's pitch and feel good about myself and
Yeah.
belt, then I'm singing this because it's gorgeous. But
It's something a kid would sing at like the high school cabaret.
yes.
Um, just
That's
because
perfect.
it's a decent solo song to belt when you're in high school and shit.
Yes.
So like again, it's not a bad song, but
Yeah.
I think it's very like it's okay.
Yeah.
I
You're
think I
100%
did
right.
like the end
Mm.
where he like changed octaves.
Mm.
part I am a fan of that. I think it could have been better. I I think the problem is they shouldn't in the like before this song, they should not have given him such a high moral compass.
Yeah, because it makes
I
this.
think
Oh.
I think because like I think it would have made a lot more sense if he like, yeah, this dude was a bad person, and he's like, sure, fuck it, we'll test it out. And then he realizes he has power, and then he goes, oh, now I have power to do something. Let's kill
Yes.
people. And then, like, he has a little conscience, so it's like, let's kill people who deserve it.
Yes.
Like, in his opinion, deserve it.
Yes.
I also think it would be really funny if, like, in the English version, all the names written on the back were, like, cast members, like, actual names.
I love
I think it
that.
would be funny.
I fully agree with you. That is exemplifies why I think this doesn't fit, because you have to make his moral compass super super high, which means that you cannot have a song that makes him evil this fast. Um
Yeah.
so you already need to change the pacing, change the lyrics and everything. But you also, if you're gonna have like, if you want to have an I want, let me still kind of be moral compassy, then what you need to do is you need to break it in half and do like,
Mm-hmm.
at this point in the story, it's exactly what you said, where we didn't know, like the part I skipped of the dad talking to detectives is how the audience learns that he's just killing criminals. Cut that
Yeah.
shit out and put that in the song. Like,
Yeah.
make when he starts singing this song, be like, oh my god, fuck, it worked. Well, if I just leave this here, or if I throw it away, someone else is gonna pick it up. And who knows what they might do with it. So,
Yeah.
like, I guess I'll have to be the one, but I'll only do it for, like, these bad people. And then, later in the musical, as he starts spiraling further and further, re-pick up the I Want song and do something with more power than this isn't so boring. But that's where you get your, like, because the greatest part of this song is the I am the god of a brave new world. Like, that's a
Yeah.
famous line from the anime, but that should be your turning point. That should be the part of the musical where you go, there is no turning back. He's done like things that cannot be acceptable. This is when he needs to sing the new I Want.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think it would have been like I'm gonna compare this to Wicked. Kind
Yes.
of like it would have been uh like later on the turning point of him accepting that his moral high ground
Yes.
isn't as good as it should be. I feel like this song would have been a lot better if it was like in Act 2 or something.
I
Like if
agree.
he was the at first he was just trying to do justice and do good and like killing criminals and stuff and then maybe there was a turning point where he accidentally killed the wrong person or like a twin or something. I don't
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then was like, oh fuck, and like you could slowly see him getting corrupted. I think that would have been very interesting. Or just don't make him a good person in the beginning, make him always a shitty person.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where it's like, so once we go through more of what occurs, the plot works. Because the plot's from the original show, where it's like he starts moral high ground, and then you see all the way that he devolves. But this song really fucks up the plot because
Mm-hmm.
it all the reasons that we've said. And at the end of Act One, there is a reprise when he does
Mm-hmm.
the most fucked up thing, and he realizes it, well, kind of, he's egotistical, so he doesn't necessarily realize, but we're at the point in an audience where we're like, oh, this is the villain, and he does a reprise, and I'm like, that should
Mm.
have been your song. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
but yes, we'll get there. I'm so glad. See, this is why I like sharing things I like, because when I don't like the thing or when I have criticism, the other person can go, "Yep."
Oh
um,
yes, Angie, it's fine.
yay, I love it. Uh, I'm going to. Okay, we have enough time to do the next song, and then I will end that. This whatchamacallit. This first half of the podcast, I think. Well, actually, yeah, Kira's short. So 2340. So the next song is just Ryuk. and it's just a fun, silly Ryuk song. But I like it. It's fun and it's silly and it doesn't really serve much, but it's enjoyable to watch. Um, so here we go. And with this little text that y'all can't see, it just happened to get picked up by you. We'll talk about it in a second. But basically, the important part here is, along with the light's moral compass, we pretend Hurricane doesn't exist. And if we stick from where he originally was, when Ryuk shows up to him, because he can now see him since he's picked up Ryuk's death note. Uh-oh.
I'm sorry. With the screenshot you have right now, I figured out what he looks like.
Oh no, another thing? Oh god, send it to me. I'm waiting.
Hold on. I have to find the right one here.
All right, yeah, send it to me. Oh god. Oh, I'm terrified.
I'm
no,
sorry.
Give it to me.
It just with it checks out. For viewers listening, he looks like the protector cat from the musical Cats.
Oh no! He does look like Cats.
He looks like the black and white striped cat from the musical Cats.
Oh no!
The one who tries to protect the big boy cat.
No.
I was trying to think what he looked like, and I'm happy I figured it out.
You're so right.
He does look like he belongs on. He gets his own song.
From
musical
God.
Cats.
You know what? We're actually gonna. You know what? Fuck it. We're gonna end the first podcast half here with that. For the rest of y'all, if you want to fucking watch the guy from Cats sing in the Death Note musical, you can listen and watch on the Patreon version. Holy Jesus Christ, that's hysterical.
And you'll never unsee it.
Never. I'm never gonna unsee that he's like from Cats. Jesus Christ. Okay, we'll pause it here. Thank y'all for joining me on this crazy ass journey. I hope you'll join us on the Patreon version. Goodbye, I guess.
Goodbye.